Good morning. Thanks for coming along with me on my morning walk. Day number 95. And it's hump day. First hump day of April. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good. This has been an interesting week. We're in the home stretch of my class at school. I'm working on defining my final paper. And working with my boss. She was wonderful yesterday because the paper is about my work. Hold on. Gotta pull this out. Writing about work. So it's going to be an actual paper that could be of some value to my colleagues, which is cool. A quick scale update. I'm kind of stalled out. I can't get back below, or at least haven't been below. I got to 380 that one day and I was excited and all, but I can't get below 380. I don't know if I'm just retaining water or what, but I have been literally a carnivore the last 3 days. I have really been careful about the carbs I eat. And it's just not, I don't know. I'm not gonna let it get me down. I'm not gonna let it frustrate me. My only explanation is I'm not getting good sleep. So, believe it or not, I decided to change my sheet, my fitted sheet. I decided to switch it out to a satin sheet, which allows me to move my body while I'm sleeping easier because it's slippery. I think it helps. I think my body's able to do what it needs to do in the middle of the night while I'm unconscious and sleeping, REM sleep or whatever. First night of doing that, maybe that'll help. I don't know. Something's not quite right. They're saying it's sleep. They say it could also be stress, which has caused me to stall out. And I don't know what the stress would be from, but having these health tools are really cool. Get you thinking about what it is you're trying to accomplish. Anyway, so that's enough about health. What I want to talk about today is something I struggle with. One of the basic questions that comes up again and again as I go through my personal transformation, my personal goal setting, my personal embrace of gratitude is, where does my mind live? Do I live in the past? Do I live in the present? Or do I live in the future? And that is probably the most difficult of those questions, because if you don't know me yet, I'm a genealogist and an amateur historian. So I think about the past a lot. I study the past. I've been studying the past for as long as I can remember. My mother and father both wanted me to study the past because they were proud of our families. They encouraged me. And I got the bug to learn about my ancestors. So I have to keep telling myself, it's not about living in the past, it's about learning from the past. You add in the fact that I'm also nostalgic and sentimental, so I tend to slip sometimes. I tend to let events from my childhood take over my thinking, my thoughts. I will admit I had some trauma as a kid. It wasn't always easy growing up, but it was balanced. The good times and the bad times. I had plenty of good times too. I have happy memories. My brain has retained a lot of those happy memories. My brain has retained some of the traumatic ones. Things that I did at a young age, 5 years old, 6 years old, that I'm not proud of. That's the sort of thing we're trying to avoid. We're trying to avoid that from taking over my thinking, taking over my progress in my transformation. I'm trying to avoid that. I have to let the past go. I have to let me go. So I'm not talking about learning from the past. I'm talking about letting the past affect me and my growth. So I'm slowly letting go, letting those emotional ties, those things that held me down. I'm slowly trying to let them go. It's been a long time coming. It's been difficult, and especially when you find out from relatives that there are more traumatic things that I've pushed out of my brain I couldn't remember. So having them tell me just added to the difficulties of staying out of the past in my head. But I'm resolving it. I'm making peace with it. As some of you know, I was dealing with depression and didn't even realize it. And part of that depression cycle was that I would get snippy, snappy, pissy, grumpy, crazy. I would just be rude. And again, I get embarrassed that I would say things to my brothers that I didn't really mean. I didn't mean it to come out the way it did. So again, how do you let go of that? Because there's lasting effects from that one. I've made up with one brother. So again, that past, how do you get rid of it when it continues to be a reminder in the present? It's tough. Now, when I was depressed, to me, there was no future. I did not think about the future. I didn't want to think about the future. I avoided thinking about the future. I didn't think I would have a future, quite honestly. So that's not really an issue now. I know I have a future. I'm thinking about the future, but I've never lived in the future. Okay, we have to go. I'm sorry to cut that short. It was a good discussion, and we'll come back to it because it's one we all have to answer, you know. Do you let the past, do you let the future overwhelm you? I mean, for some people, the future is kind of scary because you don't know how you're ever going to retire. Will you have enough income to retire? Will you be able to continue working? Yeah, there are definitely people who are going to be struggling with the future too. So we'll have a bigger discussion about that at some point. But time is out. Got to go. I'm going to have to edit this. So have a great hump day. I'm going to have a great hump day. We may see you later. I may get silly. I may get crazy. I may get inspired to post something on the whim. You never know. But for sure, you'll see me here tomorrow morning. And we're going to get outside eventually. I promise you, I don't think we went below freezing last night. So that's a sign that I need to get back out there. Have a good day. See you later. Bye.